Good morning, fellas. Blue Dream MMA here. Today we're going to be talking about a man who always answers the call. A man who became champion in only 3 fights. Already becoming a legend in the game. Really spiritual. Some people might argue that he's more autistic. But I feel like he is artistic. Today we're talking about Jiri Prochazka. He just lost his last fight to Alex Pereira by a switch kick KO. But he is still one of the best fighters in the division, and he's still hungry. Although he might be a little more hesitant now. If you guys keep up with the news, MMA news, you know this already, but if you don't, I will announce it to you. Jiri Prochazka has told us that he wants to go down to 185 and fight with these smaller guys that don't outsize him. Because crazy as it sounds, Jiri Prochazka is not a big dude. He looks big because he's muscular. He's pretty lean, and being lean at 6'4" and 220, you look big. You know what I mean? But like I said, he's only 220. Around. He walks around 214 to 220. He's like Israel Adesanya size currently. He's not a big guy. He's not Alex Pereira, who walks around at 240. Even for middleweight, he's not a big dude. A middleweight, he would be like average size. Sean Strickland walks around 220. Just to tell you like the dynamic here. So Jiri Prochazka has been fighting much bigger dudes pretty much his entire career. But now he's going down. He wants to go down to 185. And since he's still a top 3 contender at 205, I want to give him top 3 contenders on average at 185. I want him to be 1-2 fights away from the belt because he's a really exciting fighter, and I think that he could possibly make it. Yuri's a really unpredictable, herky-jerky in his movements, something that you really need to adapt to. You got to study a little bit, but not study too much because he does something different all the time. And he feels like he's just throwing a lot of stuff around. That's the thing about Jiri that makes him so difficult to adjust to. That's why Alex Pereira took some major time in the first fight to get around his game plan and actually understand who he was fighting. And in the second fight, after all that studying, now he definitely understands who he was fighting. But not everybody's Alex Pereira. Not everybody has this deep understanding of striking like Alex does. He has also some pretty good grappling. We saw what he did to Glover Teixeira. Of course, Glover was absolutely gassed, but many times Glover managed to get him down, and never he managed to submit him. And having Glover on you and not submitting tells you a lot that he's definitely high level when it comes to defensive grappling, at least. And of course, he did choke him out, but like 20 seconds left in the 5-round fight after Glover gave his life for that card, bro. He was really tired, man. You could tell that man was dying, but he made one mistake. Anyways, now let's move on to who I think should be fighting Jiri Prochazka when he comes down to 185. So my first pick is going to be the loser of Easy Adesanya versus Dricus du Plessis. First of all, let's say DDP wins. The Easy fight is a really intriguing one. Easy is a fighter that is really elusive, a really elusive kickboxer, throws a lot of leg kicks, which is a issue to a guy like Jiri Prochazka. We've seen it multiple fights in a row now. He has no answers to leg kicks. He just does not check them. He eats them and try to bite you over. Like he eats, try to bite you too. But he's really susceptible to them. It's like he doesn't really see them, and they always cripple him a little bit. And versus a guy like Israel Adesanya, who will throw leg kicks. He doesn't care. He will throw leg kicks. I think that's a really interesting one because of the pace of Jiri Prochazka. He will be in his face. He will be in Adesanya's face. He's not the kind of guy that likes to run around and play technical. That's the one thing that he has that a lot of these middleweights never had for Easy, which is why he beat all of them like that because they're trying to be technical with a technician. You don't do that. Jiri Prochazka doesn't try to be technical with a technician. He just try to beat your ass. He goes out there, try to knock you out with crazy shots, weird angles, bending some type of way, and just landing like random shit, and just herky-jerky movements and stuff like that. But versus a guy like Israel Adesanya, who punches a lot from weird angles, he could get caught. That's an interesting one, and that's why I do think that he could end up in a 5-round decision. Would Yuri be able to push his pace on Israel? It's a really hard one to answer. I do think that Israel has the potential to make it a little boring because of his style. But because of Yuri's style, it has the potential to make it a really exciting one. The thing with Izzy is that if you're not in his face, the fight is going to be boring. That's 100% of the time. It's just going to leg kick you from a distance. But Yuri's not going to stay in a distance. He's going to be in his chest, in his grill, trying to maybe take him down and strike with him. I think he will wrestle. He knows that there's levels to striking now. I think he got that with the Poitin's fights, and he saw what Izzy did to Poitin for many fights. You know, if you just look at the final results, yeah, Poitin did to Izzy, but many fights, if you just look at the rounds, Izzy outstruck Poitin way more times than not. Now, assuming that it's DDP, that I think 100%, you cannot convince me that this fight is not exciting. I think the DDP versus Jiri Prochazka has potential to be one, like a fight of the year candidate. No pressure. Like, they both like to be in people's faces. They both are really physical. That's one thing about DDP that when I was talking to my homie, breaking down the DDP versus Sean Strickland, I had DDP winning simply because of the physicality that he showed in the Whitaker fight. By the way, Whitaker, as you could tell, he was a little surprised. Because DDP doesn't just go out there and try to be technical with you and no. DDP, despite the fact that he's an actual kickboxing champion, fights like someone who learned how to fight but doesn't want to really apply what he learned. He just goes with his own talent a little bit. But DDP has this aggression about him. Imagine a football player or a rugby player with actual fighting skills, you know? This is kind of what DDP is. He goes out there, he doesn't care to push you around and to just bull rush you without like necessarily like being like wide open or something, although he gets hit. But he's the kind of guy that will be in your grill and he really does not mind just pushing you. Like, getting pushed is something that can be so tiring. Like, not just defending takedowns. Like, say you're fighting a guy that is bigger than you or around the same size but stronger, and he punches, then he pushes. You have to reset every time. That's the kind of guy that DDP is, and he's a good grappler as well. He's a dangerous grappler. Do I think that he could choke out Jiri Prochazka? I don't think so, but I do think that he could really outpace him. I know DDP always looks like a tired guy. He always looks like he's out of shape, but he's not. He's just not. The guy was beating a guy with one nostril at like 80% closed. Like, DDP has serious cardio. We just don't realize it. But yeah, I think that DDP versus Jiri Prochazka has potential to be fight of the year, fight of the decade candidate if they don't knock each other out. Because Jiri Prochazka has definitely a style that could hurt a DDP. Because DDP gets hit a lot and Jiri hits hard. I would like to see that fight though. Honestly, shit, I would love that. And now, the next fight that I have in mind, I know you guys gonna be like, oh, I don't know about this. Nah. He's a boring fighter. And all that shit. But I'm here to address the allegations. Okay? Stop calling Sean Strickland a boring fighter. Sean Strickland has a style that technically could not be boring if you just go with what he's giving you. You know what I mean? Because the thing with Sean, he's the kind of dude that pushes you. He's always in your face, kind of like DDP, kind of like Jiri Prochazka, okay? But he's really technical at the same time. It's really hard to fight a guy that's technical and that is in your face. So something that you're gonna do a lot of time as the lesser guy, less technical dude. Let's say you have more power than him. Basically, everybody has more power than Sean Strickland. But he's so much more technical. He's the best, in my opinion, the best defensive boxer in the UFC. So hard to hit, great head movements. The hands are always there, although they always look like they're here. They're always there, parrying you, blocking you. Sean Strickland is a serious boxer in the UFC. And I think that if you're in his face as well, if you're not running away like Paulo Costa did, if you're not just walking backwards the whole time, because Sean Strickland is not even fast. He's just pushing, he's just walking straight in your face. So someone that just walking like this, and you're just walking back, it's gonna be a boring fight. There's nothing to do. But Jiri Prochazka is gonna be in his face, trying to knock him out. It's gonna be herky-jerky, trying to knock him out. And that's something that can hurt a boxer as well. If you're all over the place like this and you throw random stuff. That's why, especially for to the book, like boxers that are really to the book, they follow the rule book like 100%. Like they fight like a Anthony Joshua kind of boxer, you know. Of course, he's not like that, but in terms of boxing, he's really to the book. Like Sean Strickland, except for the hands up part, he has hands low, but he has that Philly shell kind of going, and that allows him to really block, parry everything. So I think this would be a really intriguing, exciting fight as well. I do think that you cannot call Sean Strickland a boring fighter because of simply who he's fighting. Give him guys like the fight with Imavov was okay. The fight with Abus Magomedov, it was okay. The first round until you started wailing on him. Like if you're in Sean Strickland's face, you cannot have a boring fight. That's just it. That's why the DDP fight was great. I love the DDP fight. They were in each other's face, just bleeding on each other and just fucking going to war, and that was great. And also, Strickland has, like all I'm saying is that you cannot judge a man. Imagine you're a coach and you send your point guard, okay, your 3-point shooting point guard in basketball, right? You send your 3-point shooting point guard down low to defend the big man and try to like shimmy shake and get him some dream shakes going on them. Your play is gonna get blocked. He's gonna get blocked every time almost. Are you gonna really blame him? Say he's not a good. You're not a good player. You're not good. Nah. I'm a 3-point shooter, bro. I'm not in the post. That's not what I do. And that's the same thing with Sean Strickland. I'm a pressure fighter. If you walk back the whole time, you're not fighting back at all. You're just running back. The fight's gonna be boring. You cannot judge Sean Strickland for that. How can someone putting pressure be the boring one? That makes no sense. I'm sorry. No. My last one. Okay, I know this is a 185 video. I would like to see Jiri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill, man. I think that Jiri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill is an interesting one. Jamal Hill is a southpaw already first. So he's going to be fighting a southpaw with major power. And he was basically strictly a boxer. Good takedown defense, really hard to take down. It can be submitted if you're in your own guard. If he's in your own guard, you can submit him. He's really hard to get down at all. Like, he got submitted by Paul Craig, because he was in his guard. And Paul Craig is a different kind of jiu-jitsu guy too. That's a high-level grappler. But yeah, I do think that this fight, if you got a guy like Jamal Hill, who's kind of a little more technical boxer, but still likes to be in your face. Not necessarily in your face, but like mid-range kind of fighter, you know, mid-range kind of distance. Throws a lot of jab straights and big hooks, big powers in his hands. Although he doesn't just throw it stupidly, he knows how to manage his power. But when he lands and it hurts. I think that Jamal Hill versus Jiri is gonna be has potential to be a really back and forth fight. But yeah, I would love to see that fight. If ever Jiri decides to not go down to 185, I would like to see that fight. Because if Jamal beats him, Jamal more than likely gets his rematch with Poatan. Because he's been complaining for months now. Ever since the KO has been complaining that, oh yeah, I didn't even kick him in the balls, and the ref threw me off. These are excuses, but excuses that you can kind of understand. And I would like to see that rematch, of course, one day, but this is a Jiri Prochazka video. I do think that Jiri also has what it takes to beat him. But if I'm Jamal Hill, I'm not kicking his legs. Shit, I don't care who you are. If you want to beat a guy like Jiri Prochazka, the first step is to kick his legs. Maybe one day he'll get through it, but he got 35 fights. He's still not checking leg kicks. I don't think that he's gonna start anytime soon. But yeah, these are the fights. These are the ones that I would like to see. And also, guys, Robert Whittaker. I'm just scared because I feel like Robert Whittaker has what it takes to just shut him down, and we get another performance of basically what Robert Whittaker just 50-45 is somebody, So that's what I expect to see, unfortunately. But yeah, I would like to see Jiri Prochazka fight one of these 4 dudes, possibly Robert when he becomes champion or something like that. And if he becomes, or if he loses, of course. And aside from that, yeah, that's my video, you guys. Hopefully you liked it. Make sure to subscribe. Let me know what you think about the video. And yeah, man, you guys have a good time. I'll catch you soon. Peace out, man. Because I'm out.